What's happening, everybody? Got a killer drummer and talented multi-instrumentalist and producer in Ray Marte of New York's Moontooth today. Ray and I get into the early years of recording bands on his first 16-track CD burner, and the journey to owning his own studio as well as influential records, and the first time he got a Slayer record. Also, tour tips and van breakdowns. And last but not least, their new record, Crux, which, as was the case with the previous Moontooth records, Ray produced as well. Only this time, they spent some time out with Lamb of God guitarist Mark Morton, as well as Machine, the producer, working their way through a little pre-production on the record. And I gotta say, the proof is in the pudding. It's one hell of a record, y'all. Speaking of which, be on the lookout for said record, Crux, out everywhere March 29th, as well as Moontooth touring through a town near you. Links in the description with all that info. Shout out to my sponsor, New Orleans Record Press. If you're looking at releasing vinyl, go on over to NewOrleansRecordPress.com to look at myriad vinyl coloring, packaging, mastering, electroplating, lacquer cutting options, as well as a real-time quote generator, and they print both 12 and 7-inch records in 150 and 180 gram variants. Need assistance with design or have further questions? Give them dudes a holler. And that's NewOrleansRecordPress.com. Vinyl looks good, smells good, and most importantly, that shit sounds good. Crash Bang Boom Podcast is available now on Google Play as well as SoundCloud, as well as iTunes Podcasts, my YouTube page, Stitcher, and more. Check out my Instagram and Facebook pages and give me a like, a subscription, a glowing review, preferably a subscription and or follow. So here we go, y'all. The shred-tastic micro transitions and riff-tastic grooves, as well as focused songwriting and some sick fucking guitar solos to boot. Word 'em up. Moontooth new record out March 29th. Be on the lookout for it. Get you a copy. Ray Marte. Moontooth. Crash Bang Boom.
Crowds go mad with joy.
Ray Marte, what's happening, dude? How you doing?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Moontooth, holy shit, it's been a while, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Moontooth's been working on stuff, not playing shows, working on a new record, Crux. We'll definitely talk about that.
Yeah.
Y'all been through a little bit of a hellish day within the last 24 hours with a van meltdown. What the fuck happened in the Bronx?
It's been terrible. I mean, yeah, we
Do
haven't,
tell.
Oh, I will. we haven't really went out in a little while. We haven't toured in a bit, and like we're all super excited. Everybody's all giddy in the vans. Like we're gonna play a show.
Yay!
In the middle of the cross Bronx, in the middle of the traffic, just getting no power. Basically, put the foot on the gas. The band just making that noise. So I just pull off somewhere in the Bronx, trying to find a place to park, and basically just get stuck in the middle of the road, and then we have to pull over to a bus stop and basically stay there. We were there for like 6 hours, I think.
Jesus.
So yeah, just calling friends, trying to figure out, what the hell we're, going to do in this situation. We were supposed to be, we were leaving for Ithaca or for show. And we were just calling friends for 3 hours, called AAA. They came like 4 hours later or 5 hours later.
That's not the way AAA is supposed to work.
Yeah, I don't think so. Been a solid member since 2006, and
God
I really
damn
don't
it, where's their
appreciate it.
timing? Jesus.
I'm in a band, and I deserve more attention.
Yeah, preferential treatment at the very least. Starving artists here. Let's fucking help them out. Get them to the gig already.
So then we got in touch with Pat from Fit for an Autopsy.
Oh, cool.
And where he was at, his van was actually parked at Will Putney's studio in Jersey. So we took an Uber, and he was nice enough to lend us the van for the entire weekend.
Oh, man.
So yeah, he's the ultimate homie.
Damn,
he really saved our ass. And it's like, we took an Uber out to Jersey, came back, hooked the trailer up, and then AAA came. And they just took my van back to Long Island, and we were going to try to make the show, but leaving the Bronx at 5:30 at night in the middle of the Manhattan diarrhea, there's no way that you're going to make it to Ithaca. It's not happening. You're going to get crapped on.
Right.
So, like, we just decided, all right, let's just go home. Maybe we'll have practice or something. And then John, he just started making some phone calls. Called up buddy Mike Longo, works at Mr. Beery's. And there was already a show going on there that night, which was last night. And we just hopped onto it.
Really?
Yeah, we hopped onto it. We played at like 11 o'clock at night, and we just started calling and texting everybody that we knew, like, hey, free show. Everybody come down if you want. And it was a bunch of people there. Like,
that's awesome, dude.
Just like the support that we got from everybody. It was awesome just to see all of our friends, family, fans just come out last minute, and just to come support us, because we, like, at that point we were like $500 in the hole just from $200 for the tow and then money for gas, the van, and like everything just was terrible.
Is the van fucked?
I have no idea.
Oh, haven't diagnosed
That's a whole lot of a Monday problem for me right now.
Oh, just waiting for you.
Yeah, the shop I was going to take it to is full up.
Oh, boy.
So I don't know what's going on. If it's anything major, then basically just going to burn that van to the ground because I can't put any more money into that thing. It's just shot, yeah. Well,
speaking of putting more money into the van, I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, at one of the runs that maybe y'all did with Intronaut, did the van break down?
Yeah, it could have been worse, but we were, we had just come back from California, and we were in Albany, around the area in Albany, upstate New York.
So y'all drove across the country and back in the van?
Yeah.
And made it back to the East Coast?
Made it back to the East Coast, made it back to New York, and then kind of a similar feeling happened where it was getting no power, wasn't shifting. Then we drove it to a transmission shop. This was with Intronaut in 2016. So the whole transmission was shot, and similar situation where our buddies from Dead Empires, we ended up borrowing one of their vans, and so we basically did the same thing again yesterday.
Shit.
But like we borrowed their van, they hooked it up extremely, and we finished that tour, the remainder of it with their van.
How much was left of the tour?
Well, at that point, if I remember correctly, we used their van for a little while until we can circle back around, go back to the shop, pick up my van that we spent like $3,500 fixing.
Fuck, what is the whole transmission shot?
Yeah, it needed a complete rebuild.
Oh my
god. So we spent that money, and then we had just bought like a $2,200 trailer, so it was just like debt on top of debt. And brought their van back. I think I slept like 2 hours every night for like 5 days, just going back and forth trying to get stuff done. Yeah, got the van, and then we finished the tour in our actual van.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, so this is not the first time that van has steered us wrong.
Now, going cross country and back, how long was that run? And was that a month and 2 months? How much?
It was like 2.5, almost 3 months.
Almost 3 months.
Because we did our own run beforehand with our buddies in Warm and in Iona.
Okay.
And then a couple of dates, on either end of that.
Right.
Which we had booked before we started working with Andy Rice and got his contact, and he gave us the Intronaut tour. So we wanted to do that tour in June, and then he just gave us a call like, hey, fuck yeah, you want to tour with Intronaut? And obviously, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So that was 6 weeks total. It was 4 weeks with them, 1 week out to California, and then 1 week back, because started in New York. We traveled out a week ourselves to start the tour in California, which immediately went back to the East Coast. And then we had the van troubles, and then toured all the way back to California, finished the tour, and then toured all the way back to New York, basically. So it was just back and forth to California twice. It was crazy.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah. It was it was a learning experience for sure.
Was everybody getting along at the tail end of that?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Towards the beginning, it was like, so you know that thing you do when you wake up in the morning and you throw your shirt towards my bag, and can you just stop fucking doing that because it's pissing me off.
Absolutely.
We talk about all the little ins and outs, and you just learn not to push each other's buttons. You let each other know what's pissing them off, and then you just work around it and try not to do that.
It's amazing. So this is a functional relationship within a band, which is something I'm unaccustomed to. I'm more along the lines of being accustomed to complete dysfunction, not talking about anything, and just letting it boil until we're ready to kill each other. That's more my MO in every band that I've ever been in. So that's impressive that you'd have a dialogue, and also that ultimately the issues that you would have with each other are more or less superficial, and it's not deep-rooted personality traits that you absolutely hate in someone else, which is never going to change.
Yeah, we try to avoid the 6 beers and an emotional volcano issue.
Right.
Where all of a sudden it's like you start arguing about stuff that you had no idea pissed other people off. So we worked through a lot of that on that tour. That was like
well, you had a lot of time.
We had a lot of time to figure it out.
Yeah. It's funny when people think about touring and the glorious experience of touring and everything. What they don't really think about is all of the downtime that you have, other than showing up to the club, loading in, and eventually playing the gig. And let's say at most you play an hour, usually 45 minutes, maybe 30 minutes,
half an hour to 40.
Yeah, so you're spending your day traveling and sitting and waiting. That's really what
It's
touring
a hurry
is.
up and wait.
It's a hurry up and wait
It's a
scenario.
hurry up and wait.
I've worked in television for 15 years, and it's the same scenario.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's not for everybody, but there's always a romanticism attached to it. But it's not easy.
No, that's definitely not easy. I mean, people see all the stories from huge bands and look, oh yeah, you guys touring a bus,
Yeah, dude.
and you're doing all this cool shit every day
Partying
and all
every night, fucking money
Yeah.
coming in. Yeah, dude. Vacation. Oh, it's just like a perpetual vacation.
Yeah, we're gonna go crazy and we're gonna get Wendy's and have 2 beers and then fall asleep for 2 hours and then wake up and drive for 16 hours.
Right.
Yeah, the routing could be kind of brutal depending on the tour, but
That is ridiculous. I talked to Dave Whitty, who's an
cool.
awesome drummer, and I asked him the same question I'm about to ask you, being, what's the sickest you've ever been that you played a gig while playing a gig? Was it on that tour? Because I can't imagine being out for 3 months and doing that, not sleeping, your immune system's compromised. Sooner or later, you're going to get sick.
honestly, I didn't get sick on that tour, thankfully.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how it didn't happen, but I mean, I was tired, I was
Right.
definitely tired a lot, but the sickest I've ever been, I was just getting over like terrible flu, stomach virus, and I was almost throwing up on stage, and I was like, I had 102 fever while I was playing the show. I was like, no, I got it. I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
Of course. And then I'm like,
Boiling inside.
ready to pass out, boiling inside and outside.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so I probably should have maybe played 20 minutes or something, but I just didn't care. I just wanted to play the show,
Yeah, that's another thing as well, definitely. And I've not done anything as extensive as what y'all have done, but having to push through being exhausted and not letting that affect your performance is
Yeah.
such a real thing that you experience, especially as a drummer, being no matter unless maybe you play in the Dillinger Escape Plan, and you definitely have some active bandmates for sure.
Yeah.
That being said, I would say from a cardio standpoint, what you're playing is going to exceed what everyone else is doing. So it's something to really that you have to become accustomed to. And I feel like you kind of get an adrenaline pump the second you get down and you can do it.
Yeah.
But sometimes I feel like I've been in situations where I've been tired, I've been playing, and I'm like, am I dragging? And then am I rushing? Am I overcompensating for being tired? I start to get into like this mental loop where I'm questioning everything that I'm playing, and a lot of it is centered around just being tired and kind of delirious.
Yeah, I've noticed that my internal clock is weird.
Well, it's
like,
going to affect
timing-wise,
it.
yeah.
It's inevitable unless you're playing with a click track, in which you're not. So it's like that's really the one fail-safe, I feel like, if you're really concerned about being tired and affecting your tempo. You can do that as a plan B, basically,
Yeah.
But fuck that.
Yeah, I usually just warm up with a click, so I know that like I usually got some sort of basis for timing before I get up
Yeah.
there. I just like we've never really had a reason to play to a click. We don't have a light show or anything. Maybe things will change, but
Yeah.
I always just love like if I on the spot want to drag something and make it a little weird.
Sure.
If we do it every night, we can get accustomed to just trying new things and just nailing weird little timing intricacies. So
Right.
it scares me to play to a click live because I mean I record all the time and I practice to a click, but then as soon as I get up there it's like it's this whole different thing for me sometimes.
Right.
But like you were saying before with like it's hard to tell if you're rushing or you're dragging. If there's like 100 people out there and all the songs I feel like I'm playing them super slow, I know that's not true. I know it's just
Right.
because my adrenaline's kicking.
Right.
And I'm like thinking faster, so
Right.
I'm really playing it. I'm probably still playing it too fast,
Right.
And it feels slow, but
Right.
it's cool because you can it feels like slow motion a little bit. And then
Yeah.
I watch a video, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm playing like way too fast. But I try to combat that as much as I can. But like listening to the song before I go on.
It is an important thing. I've always driven that home with at least the last 10 plus years or so of bands that I've practiced with, maybe 15 or so, but practicing with click tracks and just having a metronome as the sort of great equalizer in the equation, because everybody comes in after a day of whatever it is they've been doing, and time and your sense of time is such a perceptual thing, and everyone has their own perception of it. If you're tired, the song's going to feel fast. If you come in jacked, the song's going to feel slow.
Exactly.
That's the way it goes. So that is one thing that I've found that is the great equalizer, and no matter what, every time someone will still say, dude, are we rushing it? It's like, no, it's the same fucking
all in
tempo
your
we've
head,
been
yeah.
practicing at, But it's really hard to figure that out. But here's a question for you, man. Speaking, kind of reverting back to being out there with Intronaut.
Yeah.
Their drummer, Danny Walker, what a fucking crazy drummer
Yeah, he's
he
an
is.
amazing drummer.
Dude, like
Really,
everything,
really good.
especially in that last Intronaut record, and he's a guy that I need to catch up with, but it was as if every drum orchestration for every part was like this kind of crazy linear orchestration.
Yeah.
He rarely played anything in unison. It was all of it was like this kind of bizarro, linear, not so easy shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
how the fuck did he remember all that?
Yeah, he's like super fluid. One of the best rhythm sections I've ever got the opportunity to tour with and just see live in general.
Absolutely.
They're just so locked in, and like all Danny's parts are just very organized. He's to a click because they did their own light show and stuff.
Yeah.
So like, you get the same show every night, like tempo wise.
Yeah.
Where I'm watching videos, they sound tight, professional, and then I'm not, that was like a learning experience going on the road with them because, I could hear when I watch back videos, I can hear when I'm like pushing and pulling and stuff timing wise, and he's just always on the fucking money.
Right.
Yeah, it was really, really cool experience just getting to watch him every night.
But to your point, playing those songs every single night, I think that it would be that much more interesting just for everyone, to keep everyone interested in it, to not be playing to a click. So like you said, if you want to exaggerate a particular part or whatever it is, you're free to do that. And that freedom, I would think, would cut down on some of the monotony of just playing the same songs every night in the same set. So
because the reality, it's also for us. It's like we're not like the type of people who are like exact same set every single night for 2 months in a row. We like to change the setup. Like if we look at the crowd and there's like some pop punk kids in there or like hip hop dudes in the back, like we'll maybe try to steer clear of the heaviest shit we have, just like to appeal to a crowd. Or if it's all of our fans, like at a local show, we'll play some older stuff and just really play whatever that we want. But sneak a cover in there every once in a while. But it's just the fact that we can do that, because if we had our whole set clicked out, you can't. It's a pain in the ass to change.
Exactly.
You can't just do it. Do it on the fly.
Yeah, dude. I saw Iron Maiden recently. The last time they came through New York, and well, it was awesome. But I saw them prior to that, and the set that they played prior to that, it was more preferable for me. They played a bunch of stuff off Power Slave and shit that I grew up listening to,
Cool.
And this recent one, they played more stuff off the more recent album, Book of Souls or whatever it is. But interestingly enough, they played the same set every night for that whole tour, and they did that tour for like a year, and they didn't deviate from it, man.
Yeah.
And I was amazed. And it's not like it's not like when you go see Tool and there's all these visuals and everything is locked in on screens and there's animation. It was really just a light show. So at that point, like if you have a lighting guy or a couple of lighting guys, they can work that out.
Yeah, you could probably do something on the fly.
They fucking sure. They sure as hell can, and I'm pretty sure they're not playing to clicks either. I don't think Iron Maiden is.
You got some guy sitting there tapping tempo and moving everything by hand.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Absolutely. So, but I looked on it and I was like, this is their tour from start to finish, no deviation in the set.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being like, guys, let's fucking switch this up already. We've been doing this for a year.
Yeah, I mean, I could see somebody, like, especially a band at their level, like, you don't want to fuck up, obviously. So you don't want to deviate from something that is tried, tested, it's good. You're not going to forget it. You're going to jump into the wrong song because you've been doing it for 6 months or something.
Right.
Like when we have a bigger show, and or just a show that we need to be. I mean, pretty much every night we need to be as best as we can. But if it's something that's higher pressure, we're like, all right, let's do the A set, do same shit we've been doing.
Right.
We have like an A set, a B set, whether it's 30 minutes, 40 minutes, something that's like all super fast, hard shit, or like throw in a couple of old songs, some slower songs. But yeah, we for that tour we had like an A and B set, so we just like went in, judged the crowd, and just called the audible of whichever one we're gonna play.
That's cool, man.
And then somebody goes, I don't want to fucking play the song anymore. And it's like, all right, let's do Silver Gallows or whatever else, just to change it up.
Yeah,
it's got to be fun. If it's not fun, then like,
what the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing? Because we're making so much fucking money that it's like, that's I don't really give a shit about the fun anymore. So
exactly. Well, speaking of playing some of the older songs and then some off the previous album, Chroma Paragon, I got to check out the new one, Crux, today. Congrats! It sounds awesome, man.
Thank you.
I think it's a step up in production. I think what you're doing songwriting wise is interesting. So we'll talk about the process.
Yeah.
I'm assuming y'all are playing some of those songs and so just some different songs that you're playing across the. Are you playing some from the EP, Chrome Paragon, and the new one? So a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's a big mix up because like we just we've been cooped up in the studio and like we've been playing this shit at my place at Westfall in the same room for like months. So like it's like we're losing the feeling. Like we're playing the songs, we're just burning through it, and we're like, all right, we gotta not play this in this room anymore. Like we have to
get out.
We need a tour. We need to book a couple days because this was the first time where we actually committed time to doing the record. And when we were doing Chrome Paragon, it took forever because we were like trying to tour, trying to still book dates. you know, if you go out for 5 days or a week or something, it's not just the week. It's 2 weeks before practices, so recording time gets sucked out, and then the week after, everybody putting their lives back together and working more and stuff. So
yeah. How are the songs across the board gelling with all with the new ones as well? Is it all seeming like it's cohesive? I think it is from listening to it across the board.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean it's hard to be objective about it because it's our own stuff.
Exactly.
You know, it still sounds like us. You know, it sounds like us playing, and we just honed in more of an album this time. Like Chrome Paragon was like kind of like a yours, mine, and ours between like stuff that me and Nick wrote, and then we basically just gave it to John like, good luck, dude. this is going to be really fucking hard, and he did a really good job. But this time it was we worked on the song structures and vocals from the ground up, where we had all the ideas laid out, and then brought it together in a room with John, and he sang over it, and then we adjusted our parts. If John, he's like, oh, this, make this verse longer or shorter. We cut it just to try to fit lyrics. We didn't really get the opportunity to do that last time. So that's like, vocals are definitely way more honed in, and John did a phenomenal job writing, and just the way we work together is just a lot more cohesive. It sounds more like an album, I feel like, than Chroma Paragon did.
I'd agree. Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, tell me a little bit about the process of it. I know you had mentioned Westfall. For those listening to this who might not know, you and your partner, Anthony Lupardo, obviously in Westfall Studios out in Long Island. I've worked with you before. Tons of bands have come through there. I know you've produced records that you've done previously, including the Moontooth stuff and this one as well. So tell me a little bit about, I guess, pre-production and ultimately then going in and tracking and mixing and doing the whole process for the record.
Yeah, definitely. So we did, we went down to Virginia. We stayed at Mark Morton's house for 5 days, and we worked with Machine, the producer Machine, and Mark Morton, and we did...
Lamb of God?
Yeah, Lamb of God guitar player, and just amazing dude,
Nice.
Both him and Machine were just, like, very easy to hang out with, very easy to work with. So we did pre-production. And we just every day woke up 9 a.m. and probably didn't finish until midnight.
Wow.
And just really just played all day, and then worked on song structures. He gave us his, gave us input for anything. Oh, it's a little too fast, a little too slow. This riff it's okay. Come up with something better. And we're like, fuck yeah, let's do it.
Nice.
Just because like it was very nice to have that, because I've always done my own records, and I can be a producer to other people, but it's harder to do it by yourself, because like if you wrote it, it's like, yeah, it's good, I like it.
Of course. Yeah.
So it's kind of done there. But so yeah, we worked with them, and then after the fact, we went back to the island and started tracking drums. We did drums at Tone House Studios, and did everything else at Westfall Recording Company. Did all guitar tracking, bass tracking, vocals. Worked on that for a few months, and basically just finished mixing like 2 weeks ago.
Awesome.
I mean, I could have been done with it probably months ago, because if I have the leisure, I can just mix it whenever I want, and then I have other client stuff they got to work on. So
exactly.
If I knew it wasn't going to come out until 2019, I wasn't like racing to get it done. But yeah, that's basically that was the process. I mean, working with Machine and Mark, like I said, was really eye-opening, really good experience. Everybody learned a lot. Especially for me to just watch somebody else do it, because I haven't watched another producer work on an album or work on my own stuff ever, and work on another album in, I can't even remember when, so
right.
And also for somebody that I really looked up to, I remember, me and Nick were, in 9th, 10th grade, we're learning all these Lamb of God riffs, and
really?
Yeah,
that's fucking cool.
I knew like half the riffs off that Ashes of the Week. So we get to this guy's house, and I pick up Mark's guitar. I was like, "Can I play that?" And he was like, "Yeah, dude, no problem." So of course, dun 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 da 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 dun 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 da da. And I was like, "Oh, I feel it, man." But yeah, you gotta fucking play that riff.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it was great. I'll do it again if they allow us.
Yeah. How long from about start to finish did it take y'all for tracking? I know obviously it gets broken up because you got clients coming in and out. So that's something you got to work around.
We did drums in February. Probably took a week or two off. Did bass for a week or so in March. Guitars most of it was done in 2 weeks, and then like solos and extra tracks for 2 months, here and there, because we started vocals. So I'd say, round about 6 months.
Right on.
It's probably something like that. Not including the past few months, we had, somebody do a guest spot for us, Andrew Herman from Johnny Booth.
Nice.
So we had a little guest spot on it, and, had friends play saxophone on it.
I thought I heard some horns in there.
Yeah, it's, on the first track.
That's right, towards the tail end. Yeah.
Yeah. So like there was a bunch of stuff lingering, but for the most part, probably about 6 months.
Well, man, we didn't even really talk about it, but what got you into wanting to record and produce and engineer and mix and do all that in the first place?
I mean, when I was a kid, I've been playing music since I was like 8 years old, playing drums.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you grow up were you from like a musical household, or did your parents play?
Yeah, my dad played guitar, my mom played guitar and piano, sister played guitar.
Oh, so yeah.
Yeah. So
Jesus.
yeah, so me and my sister used to jam on like Stevie Ray Vaughan and like
Come on.
like Green Day and AFI shit all the time.
Right.
Cliffs of Dover. So like I just wanted to play drums because like, well, we got to jam.
Right.
I'm not going to be the fourth guitar player in the house, and I just my mom just needed me to just fucking go to sleep. She's
Right.
just like, just go bang on the drums for a little while, crash bang boom,
Yeah.
and go to sleep, please.
Right.
She's like, way too much energy. I was a very nervous and excited kid, so
That personality type gravitates towards a cathartic outlet that is the drums. That's something that I've noticed in 116 of these episodes. The majority of those people, well, specifically, I mean, maybe jazz guys are super subdued,
It's very chill.
cool, calm, and collected kind of characters. But I think anyone that gravitates specifically more so towards like rock and roll or any of the more like aggressive,
You just wanna freak out.
drumming style, yeah, you need an outlet because you're an anxious, ramped up kind of fucking high BPM kind of character. We kind of got off track. Sorry.
Yeah,
When did you start? I guess even recording stuff.
Yeah, so I started. My pops bought me a Yamaha 16-track digital recorder.
Nice.
One of those things, CD pops right out of the bottom, so you
Wow.
can burn straight to
Burn
disc.
straight to the disc.
So I got started on that when I was like 14, I
Wow.
believe. So and then like 13, 14. So I started because the reason why I wanted to do it was because I wanted to record my own band. I wanted to record my own music. I was in my previous band Exemption and one of my old bands on its own at the time, and we needed demos. So first time we did it, we paid some guy like $200 in his house, and he banged it out in like 3 hours. And I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna try to do this because that wasn't good.
Right.
And so yeah, started doing it then, and it was good. It was cool to learn on that, like a small machine with no Pro Tools. You can't copy and paste. There's no metronome.
Right.
But so that's what got me into it, and then just getting different, bigger toys over the past, 15 years.
Wow.
15 give or take. Started recording bands at my house, which my parents really appreciated.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, I did a few of those, and then just started, working at a studio when I was 19.
Was that what would ultimately become Westfall Studios?
Yeah, it was actually at the time it was called Killingsworth. We were working for a buddy of ours, Santo. And
Was it you and Anthony both there?
Yeah,
Really?
because like I went to Nassau Community College to do their SRT program, which they have a great program there.
Oh wow.
Because I didn't, after high school I didn't have a job lined up, I didn't have anything, and I was like, well, I'm not just going to sit around and do nothing. So I did that for about a year, intern at a studio or two, and then while I was doing that, Anthony started interning at Killingsworth. So I basically just jumped in with him, and we just started working on projects together immediately.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah, and it was so we did that, and then a few years later we moved to the current spot that we are now, and then the guy Sancho that owned the place, he moved to Austin, Texas, and he has Westfall in Texas, and we just bought whatever gear that he wasn't taking. We bought the rest of it. We already had acquired a bunch of gear ourselves. We bought that and just started paying rent, and that's past 5 years.
Wow.
So we just jumped in and hoped that we wouldn't crash and burn and be poor.
Damn, dude.
Yeah,
that is
It's
wild.
definitely intimidating because, this is all I do. Like, if I don't write music and play music and record it, then I don't make money. So it's,
Yeah.
it's definitely terrifying. It's a lot of work, and it's a give and take. Mostly, you give everything you possibly have, and you get back like 20%.
Yeah.
It's like you're constant. It's an uphill battle. It's like if I didn't love it, I'd be a psychopath for
Absolutely.
being a musician and
For sure.
a producer. But
Yeah. Well, in the process of both, and I guess you have Anthony, your partner there, to help you track drums and whatnot, does it at any time, one, become a little bit overwhelming having to wear all the hats of production and be kind of objective, which I could see why you went out and worked with the Lamb of God guy to get some of that objectivity. But one, does it get a little overwhelming? And two, what do you do when you're not in the studio and or playing music? Do you just want to be in silence? Because I've got a couple of producer friends of mine, and they're just, the last thing they want to hear is music when they're not working.
honestly, podcasts.
That's
Crash Bang Boom, and like
Right
Mark
on.
Maron, Joe Rogan, some Bill Burr, but like
fuck yeah.
Jamie Josta, Doc Coyle's podcast is really cool too.
Right on.
But yeah, by the time like if I get in at 9 a.m. I don't leave till midnight, and I've been mixing for 8 to 10 hours, and then eat some food maybe if I can in there somewhere, and then Moontooth practice or something on like a Monday night, and then practice till 1 a.m. By the time I leave, I'm like, please God, get away from music for like at least an hour.
Wow.
So
dude.
it's like, yeah, I'll throw some podcasts on, go home, watch some TV or something. But, I really, I'm not going to say it sucked the fun out of it, because it definitely didn't. But
Yeah.
you just got to a point where like music, it's just your job, it's your livelihood. You're putting all your eggs in one basket. It's your enjoyment. If you find something you love and then you try and make money with it, it turns into a job, and it turns into something that you love, but you also need it to live. So,
Yeah.
I'm listening to a lot of music. Like I'm doing a lot of referencing for mixes, for
Sure.
bands that I just don't want to listen to.
Yeah.
I just got to keep track of like what the most popular songs are in every genre that I can. And just like just follow other producers,
Yeah.
and just try to, just keep up with, see what other guys are doing, and do my own thing with that, and just kind of like make sure that my quality stacks up as much as I can to other guys.
Jesus.
I try to take weekends off just because
Yeah.
I was doing that for a while. I was working 7 days a week, and between producing and playing the band and doing everything we were doing 7 days a week, I'm just like, well, yeah, I'm getting uncomfortable sitting at home doing nothing, so I got to go back to the studio. I got to start working. But I just burnt out. Like, it got to the point where I'd get in there and sit at the computer, stare at it, and try to mix, and then 6 hours later, I'd listen to what I did and just want to quit. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm terrible.
Oh, God,
but you just
dude.
you need breaks. Like, there's only so much your body can take before it just craps out, basically. So
Right.
I got to take weekends off, just spend time with my fiance, Sam.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. So, and yeah, she's really important to me. So like, I need to break away from the music world. And by the time I get out of there, I'll still listen to music, obviously.
Right.
But it's hard to like think of bands that I really love right now, because it's constantly just chaos of bands that I'm recording, my shit, and then other music that I'm referencing and stuff.
And y'all do a
It's,
lot of
yeah.
heavy bands as well.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So if I do like five deathcore, death metal bands in a row, I'm like just crying for like, give me an acoustic guitar or something. Let me just play a keyboard for a second.
Seriously.
But if I do 3 acoustic EPs, then I'm crying for metal. We try to space it out and just get after different artists, because if you record too much metal, you're just angry all the time.
Fuck yeah, dude. Good God. I like to ask people what their sort of gateway record was for heavy music. So one, what was your gateway heavy music record? And is that the connection that you ultimately have with Nick? I think I spoke to him like over 2 years ago on the podcast.
Yeah.
He's one of the few non-drummers that I've spoken to. And I feel like he said, because didn't y'all go to high school or junior high even together?
Yeah, we went to junior high together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I love Nick Lee's guitar playing, man. He's such a badass.
he's a beast.
I always dug your drumming as well. I think y'all make such a great pair, and Moontooth is a great sort of combination of all four of your personalities. But what was the gateway record for you for getting into the Dark Lord's music?
Gateway metal drug for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I got into Led Zeppelin when I was 5. I mean, that's heavy.
Dude, that's crazy. Really, at 5. That's awesome.
Yeah, I literally took my dad's box set of CDs and
Wow.
I converted them to cassette because I didn't have a CD player.
Nice.
And I was like walking around with a fucking boombox, like
Fuck yeah.
blasting Black Dog. But
Yeah, dude.
but the actual first like real deal metal records I bought was it was Toxicity, System of
Okay.
a Down,
Awesome.
and Rain and Blood.
Right on.
I remember blasting Rain and Blood when I got home, and I think I was like 12 or 13, and my mom comes in. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing?
Oh
What
my
is
God,
this?" I was
I
like,
bet.
"No, it's nothing. It's commercial."
Yeah.
It was like I was actually scared to listen to it at first. It was scary. That was the first thing that moved me in the way I was like, "This is kind of terrifying," and
Yeah.
I love it. You know, I was like. So, you know, you get a BC Rich, and you learn every fucking Slayer riff in the world. Just and so did that. that was pretty much the gateway. Gateway to
Wow.
metal was, you know, Metallica, big four,
Yeah, exactly.
mostly Slayer, Metallica, and System of a Down in there. Other
That's-
than that, a lot of Weird Al, which has nothing to do with metal. But
That's
I loved Weird Al.
hilarious.
Yeah, he's great. It's really fucking
You like
funny.
a little comedy with your rock and roll. I'm okay
I
with
do.
that, man. At any point, did you end up studying with anybody? Because I think we've talked to you about it before.
Like a drum teacher?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. From when I was a kid, I started with Mark Edwards.
Okay.
He owned a music shop in Massapequa Park. So, yeah, I mean, he taught me so much. He's just, like, super solid. Like, I remember doing, like, NYSMA with him, like, when I was a kid. And he was reading, like, level 6 NYSMA books upside down because he had one in front of me. I was reading it, trying to make through it, and he was just reading it upside down and just, like, ripping through it.
Whoa.
Yeah, super nice guy. And he was like, "Do you practice?" I was like, "Yeah, definitely. I did. Yeah, I did. I didn't just play Slayer."
Right.
And he's like, "Okay, well, yeah, let's run through it." And I did it. He was like, "Yeah, so you didn't practice,
You didn't
did
practice
you?"
that.
He was like, "No problem. We just throw on some Whitesnake, throw on some Zeppelin, and we'll just jam for a while."
There you go.
And then I just pick his brain. I'm like, "What was that, Phil? Wait, no, hold on, go back up. What was that, Phil? You did?" But
Right
yeah,
on.
he's a phenomenal teacher. Really good role model, and I recommend him to anybody.
Is he still out in Long Island teaching?
Yeah, he's still on Long Island.
Super cool, man.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him in a little bit, but yeah, I took lessons with him for almost 10 years, probably. Yeah,
Really, a decade?
yeah, because like I said, I started when I was 8. I probably finished when I was like 16, something.
Wow.
17, so
Right.
almost 10 years.
Yeah, just under a decade.
Yeah.
That's incredible. The longest I ever studied with anybody might have been 2-3 semesters in college. I waited.
Yeah.
I was in marching band and jazz band and some talented music program, quote unquote, which was like kind of the most ridiculous thing ever in high school.
Yeah.
So, but I started later. Like I started at 15, so I really only had like 3-4 years of playing prior to that. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll acquiesce, go like see if this drum teacher knows. And then I realized, oh my God, it's a humbling experience.
Yeah.
But that's cool that as you were developing, you had that sort of guidance in your formative years. So that makes sense why it seems you can play seemingly technical things with such fluidity. I think it's so much a fundamental aspect of your playing that it's just you do it naturally.
Thank you, man. I'm always just trying to listen to other drummers and just try to grab some fills here and there and just try them out. I was never like a books type of guy. Like I did a lot of pad work and shit.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of things from like rock and bass drum and like all these pad books, and I was younger, so I was just like I didn't have the discipline to do it. Like
Right.
I've started to kind of get back into it now, but for the most part, I'm just working on like delivery and chops and whatever else. But like, if I stuck to the books more, maybe when I was a kid, I'd probably be a lot better. But I just didn't. I was like, I just want to rock, man. I don't want to fucking. I don't want to do this.
I have like 3 to 4 drum books that are sitting on a bookshelf right now that I just cannot bring myself to carry into the practice space and actually
hard.
sit down. I just don't have the patience for it. It sucks.
I'll do rudiments and exercises like
Yeah.
like before the show. I'll just do singles, doubles, and paradiddles to a metronome for a while.
I hear you.
And just keep on getting it faster until I crap out or my arms start burning, basically. But
That's your warm-up regimen?
yeah, and just faster and faster and faster, single, doubles, paradiddles, and leading with the right, leading with the left, and then I'll just actually. That's to warm up my muscles, and then to warm up my brain, I just actually throw on a Moontooth song and just play through it because, like, I feel like if my head's in the right space, my muscles don't really matter
You
as
play
much.
you play along with one of your own songs.
Yeah,
Okay.
because that's when I'm in the mindset of nailing the song rather
Right.
than like if I get up there and I'm just doing rudiments. I get up there, I'm not really focused on the song. I'm focused on like, I'm like, am I hitting the center of the drums? Is my technique correct? And I'm just like,
Yeah.
you missed the verse, dude. What happened?
Right.
But yeah, I just
That's
try to.
interesting.
Yeah, I just try to get my head in the game as much as possible for playing music. Rather than like, super regimented like military exercises
Exactly.
and stuff. I just want to get. It's like the vibe thing. If my head's all over the place, I'm not gonna play a good show.
Right.
Even if I didn't stretch, if I'm in a good headspace, I don't stretch, don't warm up, it'll still be okay. You
Yeah.
know. But if I don't like I don't know, think about the songs that I'm about to play, it doesn't really work out, you know.
Yeah. Well, Ray, man, it was good talking to you, dude. I'm looking forward to hearing the old, the middle, and the new songs, all the songs in between working together. The record sounds great. I think I have my pick for the hit on the record. We'll wait to see how it pans out. I won't be a spoiler just yet, but I have my theories. But yeah, man, good talking to you. Thanks for catching up, and
thank you so much
best
for
of luck
having
on
me.
the record, man.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks everybody for tuning in, and thanks to Ray for hanging. Check out that new record, Crux. And be on the lookout for Moontooth touring through a town near you. Kicking ass, boys. Keep it up. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Crash, bang, boom.